evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, the largest single-screen drive-in in the United States. We're certainly glad you could be with us this evening, and don't forget the concession stand is open with all kinds of great things to eat and drink.
89.3 Mahoning Drive-In Radio, your old friend Virgil back once again for another exciting episode of the podcast. As you guys know, the only podcast dedicated to the love and revival of our beloved drive-in culture. Joined as always by my co-host and general manager extraordinaire, Mark. Say hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
And really excited about tonight's guest. When it came time to program VHS Fest 6, we were at a fever pitch as far as our fandom goes. The year before, we had Linnea Quigley in, and that was the same exact weekend that we got saved from potential buyout from the solar panel farm, which has now become legendary. But while Linnea was out and we were looking for titles to play, Vice Academy came across our plate and became high consideration, and then decided for VHS Fest 6, this would be the year, and we could bring in somebody who has so much enthusiasm for her work, and what we found, so much enthusiasm for life. She's seen every aspect of Hollywood, crossing paths with rock and roll culture as well as film culture, and likely has more stories and experiences than we will possibly have time for today. Welcome, the icon, Ginger Lynn. How are you, love?
Yay, thank you. I'm wonderful. I'm really wonderful. How are you?
We are fantastic. We're getting ready for our 74th season, and we are announcing shows like crazy. People are really excited, and we're actually now into programming for VHS Fest 7, so it's a nice crossover with your coming to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. But
you guys do an amazing job. It really was one of my most fun and favorite venues that I've appeared at.
Well, we definitely want to talk about it. We might as well jump right into it. So we have been so lucky with guests and Hollywood embracing the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. And very rarely have we had a Hollywood situation where somebody almost doesn't have the time or the energy to give to what it takes to be a guest at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. But you, no joke, took being a guest at the Mahoning Drive-In to a whole other level. So why don't you tell people how into it and excited you were to be there?
Oh my God, I was so excited. And the night before I was thinking, okay, I want to be part of this. Not just the girl on the screen or the girl that they can come visit and get an autograph from. I want to be part of this group. And so I did a few different things, including when people would drive in, I would take their tickets and asked them what they were here to see, and several people said, Ginger Lynn didn't recognize me. And I'm like, here you go, enjoy the show. And then there were a dozen or two, there were a lot of people that went, oh my God, you're Ginger Lynn, what are you doing taking my ticket? And like I said, I wanted to be part of it. So I did the taking the tickets. And then my other idea was to get into people's cars with them while the movie was going. Just crawl into their back seat, lean over the front, and watch the movie with them. But I got a little shy on that one because I saw the people during the day, and I'm thinking these are pretty awesome people. But I don't know if I was stuck and alone in a car with them because I was going to just walk up to any car whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, you came to play. I did. It was like something we had never seen. It was, I mean, the idea that you could come to VHS Fest, which has now become legendary for us, and you roll up and bang, there's the star of the night, ready to take your ticket, and then you're watching the movie and she gets in and is like, hey guys, you enjoyed the movie? Oh, it was absolutely amazing. So, and I'm trying to think, we played Vice Academy, and what was the other title that we played at year? Satan's Storybook, right?
Satan's Storybook, yes.
Yes. And we love doing that, giving the opportunity for a star to shine throughout the whole entire weekend. And you were truly the queen of VHS Fest 666. It was legend.
Well, it was my honor to be there, and I go into everything with a positive attitude, and to have fun, to enjoy myself, and to make other people enjoy themselves if I can.
Yeah.
So I came in, guns out, let's do it, baby.
And that's the way to do it, like when it comes to what makes the Mahoning stand out from other drive-in experiences, it's purely that. It's passion, it's love on display. It's the willingness to go the extra step to assure that people have their mind blown, that they have a memory that lasts forever. And you really did a great job bringing that thunder. But I got to ask, since we are the drive-in podcast, where is your history with drive-ins? Did you grow up lucky enough to have one in your neighborhood or area?
Yes, I did. I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. And from the time I can remember, we never knew exactly when we were going to go to the drive-in. But as soon as my mom and dad got out the big kettle and threw the popcorn in, and I started eating popcorn, I knew we were going. And my father and mother would make this huge batch of popcorn and then fill it, just douse it in butter, and then pour it into a brown paper bag so that the butter just leaked out the side.
Yes.
We'd go with a big grocery bag full of popcorn. It was my mother, my father, my younger sister, and myself. And we went a lot. We went to the drive-in a lot. I absolutely loved it. My favorite part, there were so many favorite parts, but I loved where they had the swings and the little spinny things and
the classic playgrounds. Yeah.
Classic movie playground. And then the next cool thing, cartoons.
Yes, the pre-show. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got the popcorn. We've got things to play on. Now we've got, what did I just say?
The cartoons.
Cartoons, yes. And we had a station wagon. So my sister and I were always in the back.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you one single movie that we saw. We were kids, and it was more laying down in the back seat. And we were only allowed to watch the first movie.
Yep.
But we usually fell asleep through it anyway. We were, young.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8. I was probably 8 or 9 when we started going.
That's the way that theaters programmed back in the day. You got the family movie up front, and then it took a hard right into the adult fare, hoping that the kiddos would go to sleep.
Oh, yes. I would have bopped on the head quite a few times when I had my head popping up, trying to look over the screen.
It was the rite of passage for me, where it's like, fine, you can stay up and watch this one, not this one. But, next week you might be able to watch that, So it was a real rite of passage to be able to see the quote unquote older adult movie, Do you think that those early theater memories inspired you as far as wanting to become an actress?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love movies. I absolutely love movies. And the best place to go see them, even though we didn't watch them a lot because we were too young, was the drive-in. It was just such a wonderful experience. And I wanted to be one of those people up on the big screen. I wanted to be up on that giant billboard screen.
Larger than life.
And larger than life. It did inspire me. And I started watching more and more and more. And then I had my first opportunity. I filmed a lot of movies, and I had an opportunity to go and see one of my films for the first time in the movie theaters.
Yes.
I left in tears. I left in tears because I thought I looked really funny performing the sexual acts that I was. I didn't like the way my cheeks were sunken in, doing one thing, I did like this. And the second time I ever saw myself on the big screen was at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater.
Stop it.
I swear to God. That's the time I don't go to my premieres. I'm too critical of myself. And I always think that whatever I'm thinking, okay, I didn't project enough. I was too subdued. I wasn't this or that or whatever.
That is wild to me because I grew up on a stage, and if there's one thing I can say about actors, and nothing against you being an actor, they love the spotlight and love taking that in. And I always assume that that's half of the rush, is being like, all right, film premiere night, But I do get it. I do get it. The critical nature and seeing yourself larger than life. You can see literally everything about yourself larger than life.
Yeah, and one of the funny things is the first night when you played Satan's Storybook,
Yeah.
uh, it was the first time I'd seen the movie, and so I didn't know what to expect, and I shot it. It was one of my very first mainstream films.
Yeah.
And as you're watching the movie, I'm a ninja at one point. I don't know why.
Oh,
I'm Lucifer's girlfriend at one. I have no idea what Satan's Storybook is about, even after watching it.
that is so awesome. You're like, I am the star of this movie and I have no idea where it's going. What a weird meta experience.
Really was. And then the second night when you played Vice Academy, I was thrilled. I was thrilled. It was still some of my very early works. And I realized watching it at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater that I'm not a bad actress. I wasn't back then. I went to school for 6 years after that. But yeah, even after with no training, I won awards for Best Actress in the adult industry. And I've just recently, 2 years ago, I got my first Best Supporting Actress award from the First Run Film Festival, and it was for a film that I did called Dirty Blonde.
Oh,
And so I've got I've got boxes of adult trophies, but this is hanging on my wall right in front of me. The certificate of award is one of my proudest moments. And then I have a new movie coming out called Pig Killer that is with Jake Busey, Lane, Lou Temple plays my son. Jake Busey plays my son.
awesome.
And I've been nominated. I was nominated in all 4 categories at most of the festivals we've gotten into. And I've won awards. So being able to go to the movie theater when I was young, know that I wanted to be one of those people up there on the screen, going through the work that you have to put into to get there, and then being at the place where I am right now. And I've just had a beautiful, wonderful life.
It's been the ride, and you have more than anybody been able to navigate and really push against the odds to work yourself from adult film star into legitimate film actress. And it's I was going to ask, being that Vice Academy and Satan's Storybook were so early, did they mean the world to you as far as getting that chance in Hollywood, getting that chance to jump out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And both of those films happened the year that I just started taking acting classes right after I filmed them. I get so much satisfaction from playing a character other than myself. I'm in general, and you've met me, a nice person. I'm a fun-loving, happy girl. And I'm not a bitch. I'm not nasty. I'm not this. I'm not that. And when I get these characters that I can take those parts of me, when you're having a conversation with somebody and they say something and in your head, you have a dialogue that you wish you could say to them.
Oh, yeah.
You say the nice and the appropriate thing. As an actress, in the roles that I get to be somebody else. I get to express and feel emotions that I normally don't.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't cry very often. I'm just a happy person. And not that film has shown me how to be unhappy. No, it's just the opposite.
It lets you flex your emotions.
Yes.
That's what I loved about theater and acting in general, growing up and all the way through college, was it's an escapism that can really not be described unless you are an actor. And especially for somebody, speaking from personal experience, who is insecure in their own skin, to be able to literally become somebody else for a while and live in that skin. And it really is therapeutic in a way that I've never been able to duplicate since I've, not been acting.
There's nothing like that I do. Nothing like it. When I get a script, I just received one a few days ago. I have the lead in. It's my first film that it's called The Gifted. And so it says The Gifted on top, and then there's the photos and everything. And then on the front of the box, on the front of the flyers, starring Ginger Lynn Allen.
Wow, boom.
And just reading the script and making my choices and becoming that other person is so freeing and so wonderful and so much fun that I get lost in it. I'm already in Barbara mode.
Yeah.
Which is the character in this next film that I do.
So exciting. It's so exciting.
It really is. It really is. And I'm lucky I've got 6 films under my belt that have not been released yet. Rob Zombie changed my career. And I
wanted to ask you about, obviously VHS Fest is a horror event, even though Vice Academy skirts it. And you met a lot of those diehard horror fans, and they really made the Mahoning in those early years with their dedication and love.
Oh, they're the best.
What did you see with that turn, as far as being involved in Rob Zombie world?
Well, when I stopped the adult filming in the adult film industry, I wanted to be good. I wanted to be a really good actress. It inspired me to be the best actress that I can be. And the fans that love the horror films, after Rob gave me the part in A Devil's Rejects, I have been working consistently for the last 20 years because of Rob. 90% of what I do is horror. I love horror films, and I love the fans of horror films. I do a lot of conventions, appearances like I did at your place, and the fans are so wonderful. They, as an actor, or a person in general, I'm a little bit off. I'm a little bit quirky. I'm a little bit
sure.
But that's part of the fun of it. That's part of the fun. And you were talking about insecurities. And I had them for such a long time. And now I'm not afraid to do anything on film. There's nothing. There was a film that I have coming out called Pig Killer. And I got the script for that. And it was so scary, so wrong. So it's a true story. It's based on a man named Willie Pinkton, who lives in Canada, in Vancouver, that admits to raping and murdering 49 women.
I'd heard about that.
Yeah, and Jake Busey plays the pig killer. I am his mother. I own the farm that he's raised on, and I raised him. And I am a brutal, horrible person in this movie. And I didn't give them an answer for like a month. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, I never get these kind of roles. This is fantastic. So I bit it off, chewed it up, and spit it right back out.
So great, to have the opportunity still, you are the perfect example. The hardest thing of the choice to be an actor is the longevity of that career and the stability of that career. And you have, you've been able to reinvent yourself over and over again and stay viable to the point where you straight up headlines, our biggest event of our season. And it was a humongous smash. And we feel so honored that you were so into it. And every guest that we have actually leads to the next guest in a weird connective tissue way. You'll tell somebody you had a great time, then they'll reach out. It's wild.
Now, did the fans, any of them speak to any of you? Were they happy that I was there? They seemed like it, but did you get any feedback?
Oh my God, yes. It was unbelievable. We had people actually reaching out through email that couldn't be there. And they were like, is there any way Ginger, would sign something if I sent it to you guys, then you could send it back? It was like it was a love fest. And that's why we love what we do. It is fandom coming out of the woodwork, or in our case, the woods, to emerge on this place. And it's such a unique, indescribable sensation unless you experience it. Even with selling your agent on coming out, it was like, I'm telling you that she's gonna have the best time, this and that only goes so far. But
Right.
having Linnea be able to reach out and say, this place is the best, I had the greatest time, blah blah blah, it really did solidify the experience that you were going to have. And from the time you landed in to the time that you flew out, it really was just such a treat.
Oh, and I had, even just being in your area, there was one day we were waiting to be picked up, and it was just dusk, barely, and fireflies came out everywhere, lightning bugs.
Yeah.
And I, waiting for you guys to come pick us up, I caught lightning bugs for half an hour. I haven't done that since I was 10. It was wonderful. And one of my other things that I will never, ever forget about your theater was when you gave me the opportunity to go into the room where the big projectors are and the reels and see how they worked. I'd never been there before. And it was something that was missing that I needed to know in my life. And I just latched onto that.
It's amazing how often when we bring our guests in that they will say, I've never seen one of my movies, I've never been able to see it run through a projector for sure, but it blows their mind when we can hand them the reel and say, here it is, like, this is you on celluloid. How insane and full circle is this?
It's absolutely fabulous. And it was not an easy transition to make. I remember my first audition was for Tony Scott for Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yes.
And I was auditioning for the role of the bimbo waitress when Axel Foley and his partner, John Ashton, are talking to me, and they convinced me that John Ashton is the president. And so it's a very lighthearted, funny, dumb blonde role. And so I get on the lot at Paramount, I think it was, or Universal, whatever it was. And I saved the little drive-on pass from my grandma. And I was so excited. And I hired an acting coach. I worked for a month on the role. And I nailed it. And I got there, and the first thing that happens is this woman comes up. She goes, "Are you wearing underwear?" And she's like the receptionist. And I'm wearing a white dress with a diamond-shaped cutout so you can see my tummy.
Yeah.
And it was too tight to wear underwear. So I thought it was my first mainstream audition. I thought, this is bizarre. No one, an adult, ever asked me that before. I said no. And so she storms out of the room. She comes back like 10 minutes later, and she says, "You're going to have to go in the way you are. I can't find any underwear." Thinking, why did you put on some strange person's underwear for an audition for a bimbo waitress?
The Hollywood story.
Yeah. And I get into the room, and the first thing, there are several people in the room, and the first thing that they ask me is, will I take my dress down will I get undressed for a naked Polaroid? And I said, I've got that knot in my chest at this moment in time. And I said, no, I'm here to audition for this character. And he said, all right, we'll just do a topless one. And I said, again, no, I'm here to audition. And I did 76 adult movies. I never had anything similar. Hollywood, my initial taste was dirty. It was dirty. And I finally got to audition and nailed it. And someone in the room said to me, "Can you do this where we believe that all you want to do is fuck these two guys?" And I said, okay. So I played it dirty instead of funny. And that was it. They got, I didn't get the role. They never had any interest in hiring me. It was mainly just to get Ginger Lynn inside and get new pictures of her.
get their rocks.
I was going to say, do you think they asked those questions of anybody else who was auditioning?
No.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
right.
No.
Classic.
And so I had several instances like that come up. And then I was hired for Satan's Storybook. And the funny thing about it is the main actor, other than me, the director and the producer, is a man whose parents produced 3 of my adult movies.
The connection.
Really bizarre. And then after that, Dave Dakota came in, and I did Dr. Alien with Judy Landers. And then Rick Sloan showed up, saw me on the set, and hired me for Vice Academy. I ended up performing in 1, 2, and 3. So I went from adult to small roles in B films, to leads in B films, to small roles in A films, to now my horror career. And the last 5 years have just been nonstop. I'm shocked and amazed that as I get older, I get better roles. I get hired more.
Well, it's amazing to see that arc, and again, the ability to pivot and ability to recreate yourself seemingly from the outside looking in. It's something that not many people have been able to pull off.
No, I can't think of any other adult actress who has done more work, crossed over as much as I have. There are other women who have done a film or 2 or 3 or whatever, but I've been working consistently as a horror film actress for years now. For decades. I don't work every year all the time. These last 3 years have just been phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
It's so awesome.
Can I promote something?
Please.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we have you on.
All right. Well, my new film that I'm shooting in May in Knoxville, Tennessee is called The Gifted. And I play a woman who possesses powers. I have the ability to hypnotize and coerce people into doing whatever I want them to do. And
talk about escapism right there. What a dream.
It's my character is so intense. And so it's a wonderful role. And we have an Indiegogo up right now. So if anybody goes to Indiegogo.com, looks up The Gifted, and they want to participate, we have gifts, we have flyers, we have a dinner date you can win with me, or not, you can buy a dinner date with me. You can be a producer. You can donate $10 and get a flyer. Everything you donate, you get something bigger and better.
That's so cool.
And, so I just want people to know that the bigger the budget, the better the movie we get.
Oh, yeah. I love that platform. The idea that crowdsource funding now has enabled and opened up a whole new world for creatives, and there's nothing stopping anybody anymore. Hollywood can't, stop a budget. Producers can't stop a budget. You can go to the source, to the fan base, and say, "Hey, do you want to see this rock and horror movie?"
Right.
Get behind it,
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. My fans have been wonderful. They've been showing up and donating, and we've got a couple more months before we shoot. So I wanted to put that out there.
Well, I wanted to ask, I'm sure the experiences in Hollywood are endless. Is there any memory that really stands out as far as a moment where you can say, God, I made it, I really am doing it?
That would be The Devil's Rejects with Rob Zombie. And then again in 31.
Yeah.
Just
seeing that the whole entire world pretty much opening up for you and saying, this is something else.
And they were so professional. Rob is just an amazing man. That man, I don't know if he ever sleeps even. He's always working. When I was shooting 31, I live in Las Vegas. I had to fly to Los Angeles, and I got a hotel. They put me up in a hotel, and I got up about 6:30 that morning with a call time of 8. And Rob had changed all of the dialogue. All of the dialogue. There was nothing the same. And so I'm trying to study, and I'm getting ready, and I have to be on set. And Rob shoots films in the same way that a lot of adult film producers do. There's no sitting in your trailer for 8 hours and waiting. Everything happens as planned and goes as it should be. But that's the scene with Richard Brake. We had 10 minutes together to rehearse.
Jeez.
And we basically just said, all right, here's the gist of what he wants. Let's make sure we get this in, this in. And Rob said, just have fun with it. Go with it. You know, these are the points that I want. You can ad lib. And so the scene with Richard Brake was phenomenal. Phenomenal. It was like a half an hour scene. I play his girlfriend. It's fantastic. And then when they did the final edit, they cut out all of my dialogue, everything that we had going on. And so now I'm basically just a girl that's having sex with the Doomhead.
Right.
So that was disappointing, but I still had the opportunity to go there, be there, and do that.
Yeah, it's about the experience, you know, more than the final product sometimes.
Well, and when I get into a role, I really get into it these days. And there was one point where we're shooting the scene and I had made some choices, and I hear people on the walkie-talkies going, you need to get up here right now.
Uh-oh.
Ginger's going batshit crazy. Get up here now.
She's going Ginger.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that's so crazy.
But I'm just so happy, so fortunate, so grateful for all of the opportunities that I've had, and for having the balls to go out there and go, you know what? Nobody else has been able to do this successfully. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to blaze that trail.
Exactly. And when I didn't have work in between films, I'm an artist. I paint. I have a brand new jewelry line that just came out. So I'm always creating something.
Yeah.
Always creating something. And that keeps me alive, joyful, and happy.
That's so beautiful. And like I said at the beginning of the interview, more than anything, the thing that really shined having you there was your enthusiasm. You know, the idea, you know, that you don't have to be the person that's going to bend over backwards to make sure everybody's happy, you know, but you certainly were. You went above and beyond, and that goes so far for the fan base. That experience that they have at your table is something that, you know, they'll be talking about at their Christmas table, you know, at Thanksgiving.
It's so wonderful. The only thing that I regret that I didn't get to do at your theater was serve food from the concession stand. I wanted to
actually be back there slinging burgers.
Putting cheese on the nachos. And I wanted you to have a special dish. And I can't remember what my initial thought was, but it was something about wiener dogs. Ginger Lynn's wiener dogs.
Well, we'll have to save it for the next time that you come out. We'll have our specialty secret menu wiener item.
And I never remember what it was. I wanted hot pulled beef as sandwiches.
We are never above the randomly named food special.
Nope.
Sometimes we come up with some and I'm like, can we really do that? And we're like, it's us. Yes, we can.
Anything.
Oh, it's so perfect.
We had a special once that was a hot dog and 2 meatballs with a little whipped cream on the end of the hot dog. It was called the Horn Dog. It was for a Teens Gone Wild 80s sex comedy weekend, and I thought that was about as far as we would ever go. And not a lot of men ordered that, funny enough, but but it was a hit with the ladies.
Yeah, it's hard to take that one down, you know. Well, it's a nice segue. Do you, as memories as a kid or when you came back to the drive-in culture with us, is there any kind of concession food standout that you looked forward to? Yes,
always nachos and cheese. Because we brought our own popcorn, and it was a big treat if we got to order anything from the concession stand. And nachos were usually the least expensive item on there.
Yeah.
So nachos and cheese are my childhood memories. They go along with being at a drive-in theater.
Nothing hits like childhood nachos and cheese. It's a dragon we continue to chase. For me, I'd always get it at the The Nacho Dragon, yeah. I'd always get it at the Little League field. You know, it was that and whatever the bubble gum that they serve, Double Bubble. It just reminds me of childhood. As soon as I smell Double Bubble, I'm 5 again.
Yeah. Do you remember what was that? I think it was Fritos, and you would open up the bag, and then they would give you a little thing of chili to pour into your
traveling tacos. That's what we used to call traveling tacos. I'm sure they have a different name, but it was the best. You'd literally drop taco beef, nacho cheese into a Frito bag, crunch it up, and they'd serve it at our school. They'd crunch it up and put a spoon in there and be like, here's lunch.
Here's your vegetable.
Amazing. Yeah, nothing beats a traveling taco. We might have to bring that up to our concession manager, Mama Beth.
Yeah, they're popular with me.
Yeah, that's gold. Keep it in the drive-in love. If you could take over the Mahoning for a night and do a dream double feature, where does your brain go to as far as your fandom or what you'd want to show off?
Good question.
It's hard because it's not always about the movies. Like you said, nobody ever remembers the movies they saw as a kid. It's about the experiences. But, you know, having that opportunity to say, oh, I'm going to show this movie that I've, wanted to see in a movie theater forever, or show a childhood favorite.
I would show 2 films. Number 1 is a short film called Dirty Blonde that I won Best Supporting Actress for.
Love it.
And that's only a 30-minute short film. So we would start with that, and then I got to move on to The Devil's Rejects. And the only scene that I've watched from The Devil's Rejects is my scene, and I didn't watch it intentionally. I was at a Halloween party, and every room that you walked through had a monitor showing a movie. And when I walked in, they were showing The Devil's Rejects. And I walked by a TV. I didn't really look at it, but I heard my voice. If I remember correctly, I said, "Pour this motherfucker." And that, can I swear?
Oh, of course.
Shit, yeah.
A little late. So I actually asked them if they would rewind it so I could see the scene. So I have seen my scene with Sid Haig from The Devil's Rejects. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. And
it's legendary, and the fact that you got to share the screen with Sid.
Sid Haig, are you kidding me? Oh my God, he was one of the most amazing, wonderful, gentle giants that I've ever met, and such a brilliant actor. Love Sid, and having the opportunity to have worked with him is one of the highlights of my career.
Yeah, and talk about somebody who really saw the resurgence later in life. I mean, he is synonymous with horror and fandom.
Exactly. It's so bizarre to go to conventions these days since he passed, because Sid was always the heartbeat of every event. I'd
say it wasn't a convention unless he was there. Exactly. It's just simple as that. And you can tell he's so loved and so missed. But maybe we'll have to make that double feature happen, bring it back out, and, do a fun night at the Mahoning again, under the stars, catch some fireflies. It'll be great.
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe a little music where you normally would get down and play on the swing sets and things.
Yeah.
I think you got a little music down there and people go out and dance for a while.
That's fantastic. You know what we're doing? We just programmed it. We're playing Rock and Roll High School, and we're doing a vinyl flea market swap during the day leading up to sundown, but we're having a Ramones cover band come out. How great.
No way. Oh, that's perfect.
I know. It's like, how much cooler could this event get if it's not the Vinyl Record Mart or the cool movie or whatever? It's like, yeah, there's so much to get down with that one.
You guys really, really do it right. And I like, my son has never been to a drive-in. He grew up in Los Angeles, and there were none close. There were a few far away.
Yeah.
But he never got that opportunity. And I feel he's missed out on something. So it means a lot to me that you do what you do. And I thank you for it. It's something that we can't let go.
Oh, that's our world, and that's why we got into it. In a weird way, we feel so blessed because we got into this to save a single drive-in, the Mahoning, in a little tiny area, middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And because of the documentary, because of the light shined on us, we've been lucky enough to have a voice and be able to preach the love and importance of this culture and what it means, not just to an individual, but to every single community across the country and world. It's I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't have the neighborhood drive-in to go and discover who I wanted to be, and those towns that don't have that are really robbed. But you got to bring your son out. That is so key. Bring him out. Pass on the love.
Well, he can watch Dirty Blonde. I don't know if I want him to watch The Devil's Rejects. I don't think it's mother-son appropriate.
Right. It'll be an interesting convo after the movie.
you just bop him on the head and tell him to go back to sleep with the devil.
That's the move.
He only gets to watch the first one, the 30-minute, and then he has to get in the bed.
Right.
That's right. Now that it's bedtime, hard right into the adult future. Well, we can't thank you enough for joining us. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, follow you? You know it. That's the game now, social media. So if you want to give your handles and all that fun stuff.
Instagram and Twitter, my handle on both of them is Blame It on Ginger.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, that came from, I did radio for Playboy for 10 years, and I was always the feisty one. Not always the one that caused the trouble, but I was always blamed for it. And I got called into HR once a month, twice a month, and I never showed up. I made Christy Canyon, and my producer showed up, and they're like, "Where's Ginger?" We don't know. But it was her fault. Blame It on Ginger is my handle now.
That's too good. I love when somebody can get that good handle. Sometimes somebody will drop it on me, and I'm like, "How did you get in on that handle?" That's a good.
It is. It is. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I so enjoyed my time with you guys at the theater. I love what you're doing, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
It means the world. We love you so much, and we can't wait to have you back. Anybody listening, be sure to give our good friend Ginger a follow. And you guys heard it. She's constantly working. What'd you say, 6 movies in the can getting ready to come out?
6 movies in the can.
That's unbelievable.
3 that I'm locked into this year already.
It's just crazy.
And one of them, I can't tell you about. I will just tell you that there's an incredible book coming out based on a true story, and the movie deal has already been signed. And part of that deal was that I'm included in that. So I've got a big budget Hollywood major movie with a major role coming up this fall.
Nice.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, Mark, did you have anything for Ginger?
Only my undying gratitude. No, no, I think we did had a wonderful chat.
We really did. Thank you so much. I wish you guys all the best. Anytime you want me back, let me know and I will be there.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're the best. All right, we love you. On that note, Jeff, take it away, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming out tonight to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. We hope you'll come back and see us again real soon. The exit is on the right-hand side of the screen at the front of the field, and most importantly, have a very safe trip home. Good night and God bless you.